Look at this book I don't have. Look at this other book I don't have. Sounds fun. This is going to be what I'm reading next month. This is my monthly TBR video, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. The first book I'm going to be reading is going to be Riven Earth by Zammar, Ahmer. I think I said that right. I hope I did. If I didn't, that sucks. And I'm very excited to check this one out. I saw the cover a little while back. I really liked it. It was announced by Patrick Leo on Twitter. I hate Twitter, by the way. I don't know why I'm on... Actually, I know why I'm on it. It's because of the broken binding. But I digress. The basic premise of this book seems to be essentially the world is scorched by the sun and in eternal winter. I don't get how that works, but cool. And there's the place that is called the Sunset Forest, which is the base area where everybody lives, and for a while everybody seems to have been slaves. All the humans were slaves and worshipping this lady, maybe. I don't actually know if it's a lady. And guy comes out, kind of reminding me of Dark Souls, and according to the author himself, he says this: "It is a character-focused epic fantasy adventure, perfect for fans of Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive and Joe Abercrombie's First Law. 1,000 years ago, humanity's..." Wait. Is that right? Humanity's greatest heroes killed God. I think that's from a different book that I'm going to be reading next month, and I just didn't add that there. That's probably what it is. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Stormlight. If you've watched my top 10 video, that's my number 2 series of all time. It was my number 1 for a while, but it's not anymore. And it's an absolutely brilliant book series. So if it's compared to that, I'm very excited to see what he has in store. And from what I've heard, one of the characters is inspired by Ashtoka. I think that's his name. Or Ashtoka? I don't remember. It was an old king from India, I think, the Indian region, who over time grew to regret his decisions as kind of more of a tyrant in his younger years. That might be from something different, but that's what I've heard, and I don't really like to go into books knowing everything. I want to go in with a little bit of a shock factor. I want to be surprised by some of the things. I just saw the cover, thought, oh, this is interesting, especially since somewhere, I believe, I saw the author say that he was inspired by Ashtoka, the king. And I'm very excited to see that. And this is a duology, indie published too. So this is I'm getting a lot of indie published books this month, and I'm very excited to check it out. And probably either the second or the third book I'll be reading. I don't know my exact plan yet. Depends on when I can get the books. Is Herald by Rob J. Hayes. This is a book that I backed on Kickstarter back in November of last year, and it was supposed to arrive earlier this year, but he's had constant delays, and finally, I think it was shipped out yesterday as of recording this, that being Monday the 26th, maybe? I don't actually know, of July. And I'm very excited to check this out. I've read about 13% of the book in ebook form, and it's basically these guys long ago, these 3 or 4 kings called the Godless Kings, went up to heaven and killed God. It's called the God Eater Saga, Herald by Rob J. Hayes. I'm not sure if I said that before. And it's so interesting to me, because what these kings will do is they will hunt down the angels and eat them. And there are different factions that are under the king, the last remaining king in Herald, where they are fed different parts of the angel's body. This is really grotesque, but also really cool to me. Like, they feed the brain of an angel to certain people. the people who drink the blood become immortal, and they give the liver to somebody else, and they're able to see the truth in everybody. It's interesting stuff. Scary as all hell, but I love it. It's morbid and really cool. So I can't wait to check that out next month. Again, I've started the book, but I don't really want to get into it until I have the physical copy. And I'll probably have a review up for it, because this has been one of my most anticipated books, especially since I checked out the first bit, and it was really good. Now, what could end up being second, or what could end up being third, is a Dirge for Cascius. And I don't know much about this book, and I like to keep it that way. But look at that cover. I don't know where I'm going to put it here. And it's gorgeous. I love it so much. I've heard it pitched as Hyperion or Hyperion adjacent, and I really like Hyperion. Although the only thing I hope is Hyperion is split up into these different sections. It's different stories essentially, and that doesn't really do much for retention of my engagement. And that I hope Dirge for Cascius is not quite like that. Maybe in terms of vibe or feel, I hope it maintains some of the scary as shit stuff that is in that book. I was disturbed by some of the stories and profoundly moved. But Dirge for Cascius, I've heard, is really, really good, at least in the end. I've heard, to quote somebody who I cannot remember, the last 20 to 30% is an absolute masterpiece. And I'm very excited to check that out. I love the cover, and what I kind of expect is Space GGK. I don't know if that is true, but I'm going to go in expecting Space GGK, and if I get anything else, I will be pleasantly surprised. I like GGK, Guy Gavriel K, and we'll see. If I don't like a Dirge for Cascius, I'll make that clear. I actually signed up for the E-Arc, and I realized that it was an E-Arc after signing up, and realized, oh shoot, that sucks. I don't like reading ebooks. So I felt bad, and I'm buying the book day 1 on August 2nd, later this week, and then reading it. Now, for the 4th book I will be reading this month is Fool's Assassin. I can't wait. It's gonna rend my heart. I know it. And I don't know anything about this. I refuse to go in knowing really anything, because this is my favorite book series, and I'm not done with it, so I want to take my time. I'm going to be reading the last 3 books monthly, and just enjoying the ride. And for this last trilogy, the first book in this last trilogy, the Fitz and the Fool trilogy is what it's called, by Robin Hobb, and I've heard it's kind of like a gothic mansion vibe, and inside this one house, the entire book, in that the ending to Fool's Assassin rivals the ending to Royal Assassin, which is the second book in the Farseer trilogy. Which, even though I may love some of the other books in the series, like Fool's Errand may be my favorite so far, how do you top the ending of Royal Assassin? That's very interesting to me. Royal Assassin's ending was phenomenal. One of the best endings of all time. And I can't wait to see what Robin Hobb has in store for a setting, or an ending, that can rival that. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do for that book. And then, for my last book of the month, I will be reading To Ride Hell's Chasm by Janie Wirtz. As you can see right here, I have the first 2, or technically the first 3, Wars of Light and Shadow books. I have read Curse the Mistwraith. I'm hoping to try and get a buddy read to read this series, because this is definitely the type of series where I think you should buddy read it. It's so deep and complex that it absolutely should be buddy read. And To Ride Hell's Chasm is going to be an absolutely great book, from what I've heard, and just in general, Curse the Mistwraith was a great book. So I can't wait to read To Ride Hell's Chasm, which is about, from what I've heard, this princess who's gone missing, and... Okay, I'm back now. I actually had to take a minute to go read To Ride Hell's Chasm synopsis, the To Ride Hell's Chasm synopsis, and here's what I think it's about. It's about this princess who's gone missing, and this guy named Mikhail, I don't know how to say that, is held in suspicion by the court, and the crown's right-hand man, as he and the crown's right-hand man are hired to go find the princess. And Mikhail is he's a foreigner, he has an interesting background, according to the synopsis, and I'm not even paraphrasing, it literally says, whose interesting background and foreign breeding are held in contempt by court society. So that's going to be very interesting, and I know Channy Wirtz is a very beautiful writer, but oh my god, I'm not sure if I can do my typical 100 pages a day. It might end up bleeding into October. Now, that's pretty much all I have for this. I'm super excited to get to all of these books, and I'm definitely going to make a review on all of them. So, expect those. Maybe not Fool's Assassin, though. Actually, I will definitely talk about Fool's Assassin. And next week, you will probably get a couple of reviews, one or two, and at the end of this week, that being Thursday, you will very likely get a wrap-up, because August 1st. Anyways, I hope all of you have enjoyed this probably very short video, and I hope you all have a great day.